Folks, thanks for joining us today. My name is John Dubas with Premier Marketing. We'll be spending the next 45 to 50 minutes discussing marketing one of the standardized benefits available to the Medicare population, which may bring a question mark above your head in the old cartoon style as to why would we market PDPs now, prescription drug plans, the standardized Part D programs that are part of many people who are on Medicare, their benefit package that they select for themselves. But we're going to go through and give you some ideas as to why this is an ideal time to do just that. Today's presentation is being recorded and will be made available on our website at premiersmi.com and on our YouTube channel as well as it uploads into the system. The system for this call is a program that has a section for both questions and chat. We ask that you put your questions in the questions box. We find that we address many of them through the course of the presentation, but if there's one or two we miss, we want to make certain we get you the answers you need to maximize the value out of the investment of your time in listening to today's presentation. You'll also note that today's presentation is intended for agents with varying experience. So for some of you, some of this might be remedial in parts, and in other parts you might go, wow, I need a little more explanation on that. So that's why we have a range of explanation when we come to our presentations here, looking to appease the needs of a vast audience with different experience that comes with it. And one of the pieces that is a piece of experience is who Premier Marketing is. So a bit of level set about us. We're a national marketing organization founded in 1968 that's part of the Integrity Marketing Platform. We're licensed in all 50 states, acting as an insurance wholesaler through independent insurance agents such as yourself. And we do so through contracts that are at the highest possible commission levels, with recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. And we do so through a full portfolio of products. And that includes the categories that we'll discuss today with the Part D prescription drug plans. We also offer, of course, the Medicare Supplement and Medicare Advantage programs. But in addition to that, you have available through our organization a full portfolio of life and annuity products, finally, expense life insurance plans, pre-need programs, long and short-term care programs, disability income plans, and those ancillary benefits that address specific needs of your prospects and clients in key areas. We speak to the Medicare Advantage portfolio because when we go through and we discuss a lot of questions that come up with prescription drug programs, in many cases it integrates into a program that may have that drug benefit embedded in the basic health benefit. And that's a Medicare Advantage and PDP, Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan that handles that PDP concept as well. But you'll see that the national carriers are there for you through our organization, along with many of the strong regionals that can make a difference for you in your target markets. The prescription drug plans themselves are most commonly contracted through that MA contract. Comes as part of that same piece of paperwork you have to fill out for a Medicare Advantage plan. It does require annual certifications, but it comes as part of that overall contract, and many times that's just an additional module to offer that full portfolio product from those different carriers. You'll notice on this slide, the vast majority of these PDP programs come as part of that contract, but there's a couple of notable exceptions. One of which is the Mutual of Omaha prescription drug program, which is a separate contract from their other products that they have available. Then the Clever RX is actually a discount program and not a Part D program. The Medicare supplements, this is a case where many times the discussion about this health program brings about a discussion on drug coverage. And our Medicare supplement portfolio is very vast. We have a number of programs out there that help you be successful in this space. And this is one of the ways that we uncover the need for a standalone Part D program, because a Medicare supplement plan does not come with prescription drug coverage. Now, there are some old plans out there that you may run across Pretty rare anymore, the old Plan J's and some of the other pieces there. But when someone selects a standardized, modernized Medicare supplement plan, they need help with their medications. And that is where we see a lot of the play for the PDP programs that are out there. When we look at the ancillary benefits, these are areas that are address specific concerns in each of these categories. We have the national leaders there for you. And many times when we speak to an individual and do that fact finder and find out, well, gee, in your instance, this may be the best solution for you with the basic medical and the drug coverage. There may be other areas then that they need additional help. Very commonly in the Medicare space, these are categories that are simple add-ons in many circumstances. Cross-selling is a great piece with this, and you will find that that can make a big difference, not only in covering that specific need, but give us another avenue to market. And this is one of the ways through campaigns that are pointed at some of these demand products that give us the lead for a prescription drug plan and a review of their basic medical coverages to make certain that we're doing everything we can to enhance their situation. When we look at the Medicare market overall, you don't come on a program like this without hearing of the aging of the baby boomers, the silver tsunami, one every 10 seconds, 10,000 plus a day. But when you're talking about people aging into Medicare, yep, that's the way it works. But we're seeing a number of individuals who are choosing, for one reason or another, to continue to work past the age of 65 and defer access to some of their Medicare benefits. That changes the number of prospects in our pool, so to speak, but it's more than made up for by the folks that are under 65 accessing Medicare benefits because of a medical disability. So we've got a huge market. If you're on this call, you've worked Medicare, probably the Medicare market in the past, and you're well aware of the number of folks that are out there that are valid prospects for the programs that we offer. Because when someone comes on Medicare, they have a multitude of choices. They don't have to do anything. They can actually decline their Part B should they choose to do so. Thankfully, most don't. And for those that do, many times it's a valid decline because they're still working and have coverage or for whatever reason. But you'll find some folks that will self-insure for the medical portion of their benefits through traditional Medicare and pick up that PDP program to help with the medication cost. That's one area that we address in our marketing because those folks need that annual review of their medications and the plans that cover them because they do change year over year. However, that also gives us an opportunity to look into the other programs that they may not have looked into to any degree with the basic MAPD plans. There's an acronym for you, Medicare Advantage Prescription Drug Programs, or they may have chosen to cover the shortfall in the medical coverage through traditional Medicare through that standardized, modernized Medicare supplement. And as we talked about just a moment ago, hey, that doesn't come with drug coverage. So you need that Part D coverage to come with it. And then, of course, there are the folks that choose to bundle their benefits in the Part C programs, the Medicare Advantage plans, which in most circumstances come with integrated drug benefits. And knowing how to discuss the differences between that and a standalone Part D program is crucial for our success and to help people understand the options that they have available. And that's important because when people are first accessing Medicare benefits, you're seeing a pretty even split between the MA and Med Sup coverages. They're opting into that Med Sup coverage. They need our help with PDPs as well. We find that some agents will defer that discussion, send them to Medicare.gov. One thing I would caution in that area, one, you are giving up control of that prospect and client. But two, you're also giving up what may be a nominal commission compared to the health coverages. However, as Confucius says, many pebbles build a great wall. You may be looking past the forest for a particular tree or vice versa. I don't know how I beat up that analogy. What we've seen, however, too, is a number of differences in the trends moving over the last 3 or 4 years, some of it influenced by the pandemic, Some of it influenced by the aging in of a population that's much more comfortable with managed care. And so we're seeing a little bit of a swing as to, well, what are you choosing as your coverage moving forward? In each circumstance, having the detail on the programs that address the needs in these areas make a big difference for us. Because, hey, we just finished up the annual election period a little over a week ago. And what we have found historically, and Kaiser Foundation, Family Foundation gives us this detail year after year, is the vast majority of people who are on Medicare have not compared their coverages year over year to see how they change. 7 to 10, a little more than. So we have a market out there that will respond to our outreach on evaluations on their coverages. And that can be, once again, the opportunity that we're looking for, because it gives us also the opportunity to examine, can they change coverages as dictated by changes in their programs. We all are creatures of habit, and in many circumstances, someone will pick a program and they ride it. Man, I'm comfortable. I know it works for me. Sometimes that opinion changes when they go to access their medications at a pharmacy. And we're seeing that that applies even if a person has a Medicare Advantage plan that they did not review, because they're not doing that with any consistency either. And they're not using some of the information because they don't understand it. The acronyms are rampant in our industry. And as this slide shows from a screenshot pull from CMS website, man, 4,420 acronyms. That's part of our role as a qualified, licensed, contracted, and certified agent, is to help understand and help other people understand these programs. And sometimes that is defining those acronyms, or in our case, as we carry on a discussion, minimize those discussions, because, hey, we want to make certain they understand what they have and what they're getting. And translation of simple acronyms may help us in that regard, because they're not using the Medicare resources that are out there, the ones that are sent to them either by United States Postal Service or electronically available through the App Store and the web that's out there, or even some of the different recordings that are on the internet that can help people understand their situation and how they can address it or better it. Once again, that brings it to us as an agent offering our services to this population, and doing so in a manner that that person can take that information, understand it, and act on it if it is appropriate. So that might be kicking information to them in person. Some people still like the old kits. However, we have the flexibility of doing some things virtually now, particularly with some of the tools that we have here at Premier with the Medicare Center access. You can provide that information virtually, and because that also has a personal URL, a PURL for you, it gives them, your prospect and clients, an opportunity to shop on the programs that you offer through that tool and do some of the work ahead of time for you. And we actually see people enroll through that without even speaking to their agent. They recognize the change and they act upon it themselves. That gives us then the opportunity to maximize our time and do so through reviews that we offer our prospects and clients, because, hey, we don't sell everybody. There's always someone that didn't go with us. That gives us that opportunity for them to do that self-examination and do so in a timely fashion and help us with our time management as well. And then, of course, there's that crossover, that hybrid piece where you might have to be visiting in person and virtually both on the same deal. Folks are becoming increasingly digitally savvy, as this slide says. And when we think about it, you go back to the beginning of the pandemic, for over a year, that's how we saw our doctors, our primary care physicians, our specialists, done through a Zoom call or whatever it happens to be in that circumstance, where the folks are getting the information electronically and becoming much more comfortable with that process. That includes people that have been on Medicare for a number of years because they're being trained by the providers, not only the doctors and specialists, carries into some of the hospital work, detailing with dentists. It's even part of our lifestyle when it comes to celebrating our faith, where those services are held online. So the folks are more comfortable in dealing with that, even if they're older on Medicare. Folks aging in are more comfortable with some of the systems, perhaps, but it gives us that opportunity to be able to deliver that information and the comparisons that we can do in this area electronically. And while there's great things to say about sitting across the kitchen table and shaking hands and kissing babies and getting elected, we want to make certain that we are delivering the information that's necessary in the manner in which the person wants to receive it, and that we're doing so in a fashion that's efficient for us as well. So as we look at the process of marketing PDPs now, prescription drug plans, those Part D programs, we want to make certain that we realize the time periods that are involved in order for us to do so. There are some folks that once they satisfy their time requirement during the annual election period, should they review or not, well, that's gone, that's done, that open enrollment period. We then have the OEP coming up in the first 3 months of the year. That's an opportunity for someone with an MA plan to change some coverages. Keep in mind that's what that is. It's not an extension of AEP, and we can't really market it anyway. That's a no-no according to some of the regulations that we have. That leaves us then the question of, okay, John, you asked starting out, why market PDP plans now? Well, because there's a whole bunch of special election periods that allow a person to do a review and change coverages should it be in their best interest. And we go through a number of these. We talked yesterday about some of the most popular special election periods, the ones that we see most often. But you'll see in most of these categories, it affects the use of medications and how an individual can access them. And you go to number one, you got credible drug coverage and you lose it through no fault of your own. Well, does that mean the plan went out of existence? Does that mean you lost group coverage, which is another special election period? Why did that happen? And there are a number of folks, because of the economic circumstances they have in retirement, they may qualify for extra help programs. And that gives us an opportunity to discuss and enhance coverages and create that special election period in which we can change programs to better their situation. And we do have also the lovely special election periods, as I call it, that are influenced by different factors. And we see different carriers give us different information on those opportunities, sometimes in great detail here. And they kick out information to their contracted agents as well. So that's one of the reasons why you got to pick through your hundreds of email to make certain that the carriers with whom you contract, well, what messages are they getting there for me? And we want to make certain that we're addressing that opportunity as well. Because remember, 7 of 10 didn't look, didn't do a review, and we can help them through these special election periods. The weather piece that comes into play, it's amazing. We've got one for drought here in Texas. We've got a number of them that are based off of different weather circumstances. These are intended to help people that had a choice impeded by that weather situation, but it gives us an opportunity once again to address the changes that a person needs and they didn't do during the annual election period. So we've got to make certain that we're working the situation in a proper fashion in order to remain compliant. And these are the details that come to you as part of this presentation, so you have them for your reference. Because keep in mind, you got the recording available and the presentation will be available through your Premier Agent Success Manager, your marketer within our organization as well. Since these special election periods are changing, some of them expiring, some being added, where can we find out where the current list is? Well, off the FEMA website. and it will give you that detail as well. Obviously, we see the marketing pressure from the different carriers, but the government lays out detail there for us too, where we can make certain that we're using a valid special election period too. OEP, we talked about some of the special election periods in a different webinar, but this is an opportunity for some folks who are on an MA plan to change some of their coverages, and it's something we can't actively market as agents anyway. And in all candor, we don't need to. We have so many other special election periods that would serve the same purpose. We don't need to tempt fate and say, hey, I'm going to market this. We see organizations do it upon occasion already. And we're like, oh man, that's a loaded gun there you're handling. You don't want to necessarily do that. But as you run across this circumstance, you will find some folks that think that this is an opportunity to add drug coverage. That's the pertinent part of our discussion on a PDP program, because that's not the case. You can't switch from one PDP plan to another one utilizing OEP. And the only circumstance in which you can add drug coverage is if someone's already on an MA plan, MA only, and they switch to a MA PD plan where they have prescription drugs integrated into that system. It does, however, give us another means to operate in the Part D space, because folks can use this to leave Medicare and go back to original Medicare. And that then gives us an opportunity to coordinate a special election period to add to drug coverage. So they're not without that coverage and not subject to penalties by not picking up a standalone plan. So we want to make certain that we realize this gives us an opportunity, but we have to be careful about how we approach it because of some of the regulations that are about and that are pertinent to it. And we want to realize that, hey, we got special election periods that'll take care of it anyway, because here we go again, a ton of them that are out there. These are standard ones we see each and every year. That gives us the opportunity to, as we plan our activity throughout the year, to plug in campaigns for some of these specific special election periods. How do we reach out and find people in this area? We have different ways of having people raise their hands as well, and we'll discuss them in a bit. One of the special election periods we see most frequently utilized in the arena that talks about prescription drug programs is the low-income subsidy extra help programs. We went through this in detail last week as well, so those presentations are available to you on our website or through your Premier contact. But this is an opportunity based on income and assets up to 150% of federal poverty level that can create a quarterly special election period. In the near distant past, this used to be a month-to-month deal. They changed it where it's once every 3 months each quarter. That gives us an opportunity to work consistently in this area throughout the year, and gives us then also the opportunity to really aid a person that may qualify for these coverages and don't have it in play. That is the way to really get into a referral-based business, which is what we all want to do, because we are providing value outside of a product change. Now, adding that value gives us the opportunity to do that change, but that's something to keep in mind. So having this at least as reference material and part of your standard fact finding in meeting with your prospects and clients, this can make a huge difference. It can help cement the business you already have. It'll help you bring in new business as well. So something we really want to be up on. It gives us that access to the prescription drug coverage. It protects people from, well, it's not a true donut hole anymore, but there's a period of time in a drug plan where a person is subject to much higher out-of-pocket cost. This takes care of some of that. It also takes care of the fact for some folks who, well, went and take out a Part D program when I was first eligible. Well, you penalize for that 1% of the national average per month, of which you didn't have that coverage. This assistance waives that late enrollment penalty. It does, of course, once again, create that special election period. It can also trigger and will trigger an investigation type of process to see if that prospect qualifies for a Medicare savings program, which brings about an entirely different marketing situation based on our activity on medication coverage. That is a door opener for discussion on the base medical coverages. Outside of the fact that you can simply ask a question, how you cover some of the medical expenses, this then gives us the avenue to follow in order to perhaps get a greater emphasis on some of the other programs that are out there, specifically an MAPD plan to integrate that drug coverage and take care of the medical. So boil this down for us, John. You already talked about some of the ways that we can do it. Why would you work a PDP after EEP? Well, for one, the beneficiaries need the help. They didn't complete that annual review. Remember that 3 in 10 that do? And many times, as a person accesses their benefits after the first of the year, they are encountering a bit of sticker shock. Well, perhaps the premium on their plan changed, but that's not the sticker shock I'm referring to. They're walking into a pharmacy and they discover this drug that they have had in the past is now covered differently because the plan changed. Is it still on the formulary? If it is, did it change tiers? What happened? Why is this drug more expensive? So that brings about a recognition within that individual that, gee, I better look into, do I got a better deal here sometimes? It also gives us that opportunity to tie into different community activity and our efforts in marketing in the past. If you've been active in a retail situation, you worked at Walmart or Kroger, whatever it happens to be, that is a year-round activity. Yes, you're not in the store with that same frequency. You're not staffing it like you did during the annual election period, but you're still working your contacts there and making certain that your knowledge of low-income subsidy, PDP programs, the MAPD programs, that is a tool. It is an asset you're bringing to that location to help that staff and yourself, of course. It does give us that opportunity because of certain circumstances to generate that special election period. So while we're supposedly in lock-in, we're not. If the person has this SEP available to them, in its discussion of a standalone PDP plan, it does open that door to a analysis of Medicare supplement plans that are out there. That person may not have had one in the past, or they may have one and they're looking to see, is there a better buy for me? This is a natural door opener for that. And for many who cannot afford some of those premiums on both a standalone PDP plan and a MedSup, they may well be very willing to look at the Medicare Advantage plans that are available in your market and how you can do an analysis of those. Plus, as in any situation we have, when we have the opportunity to visit with people outside of our main thrust of the program that we're offering, we have those other things in our portfolio that give us an opportunity to cross-sell. And it's a question of the old TV series, I'm going to date myself here, of Columbo. Oh, just one more question. Doesn't have to be fancy. Gives us an opportunity to cross-sell as well. So when we go and we visit folks, how do we determine what the plans are and what are available to them? We have within our organization, of course, the Medicare Center that we would urge you to use. I am showing this through Medicare.gov because there may be people on the line, as I notice, that aren't part of our organization and may be comfortable and utilizing this government website. So as we go to Medicare.gov and we look at finding the health and drug plans, we're going to do some specific things to lay out the choices that an individual has in their particular market. Popping in the zip code of the people that we're visiting with, the plan type that we're looking for, and then seeing exactly what some of that explanation is. It guides us through the system. It does then also ask if we have programs that help with the cost. I recommend popping in the extra help program because it can affect some of the analysis that comes into play, and the person doesn't have to have it or even know what level they have, but it gives us an opportunity for additional discussions. Since we're looking just for plan locations and availability, we're not going through a full analysis at this point in time. We don't need to add the medications until we do that particular review. And then it'll pull up the programs that are available to us. This is a point in time where we need to really realize the fact that just because a plan comes up here as the least expensive, that's based on premium. It's not necessarily based on coverage. So this, once again, is a way for us to look at specific plan availability. And let's look at that in some greater detail. Bear with me just a moment. So as we go to the Medicare website, medicare.gov, we're going to go into and find the plans that are available. We're going to look at the opportunities that we have. I'm going to pop in here. Well, this is my home zip code. Pull up some detail. Again, we're going to pop in that, yeah, we might have extra help. I'm not sure about the level. And you may not be, and the person may not be. You have different co-payments that are standardized by the assistance that is available through these plans. But the carriers that you work with, just about every one of them have a producer help desk that allow you to dial in, call up, and get that specific information. If it's during normal working hours, they can do it right there for you. Or there's a couple of companies that offer a chat function that will tell you what the level of assistance that person may have, which is invaluable for us to help with our prospect understanding what they have and how this can affect programs moving forward. Oops. We're going to skip this once again because we just want to look at the number of plans. It's going to think for a minute. You get the theme of Jeopardy running through your head, so to speak, pops there, and we're showing in this particular area, in this particular zip code, 27 available health plans. So what's the best one? How do we discuss this? Well, that's where our fact finding with what medications are you on, what's your current circumstance. We want to make certain the medications that you are being prescribed are covered as part of the formulary, part of the drug list for this PDP program, and where they fall on those tiers. Back in the day, there used to be a standard of, okay, there are 3 tiers for this. Not anymore. 5, 6, 7 tiers. And a generic medication may not be on tier 1. Is it a preferred generic or not? So we want to make certain that we don't assume certain coverages and that we're allowing systems to help us with a analysis of the program. So as we go through and we look at these plans, it gives us then that opportunity to go beyond just talking dollars and cents. This creates a discussion on health circumstances, which can affect the underwriting on other programs maybe we may be offering this individual. It gives us the idea then of, well, if you're getting that assistance, then perhaps we need to really make certain that we're covering you as thoroughly as possible with a minimum out of pocket on a month-to-month basis. Creates that discussion for the Medicare Advantage prescription drug programs. Or if it's an individual that may be in those categories that is referred to as the near poor, putting this in play and doing the analysis helps them keep that Medicare supplement in force because they have dollars that would be spent elsewhere available for that premium itself. So it's a fairly simple piece that goes through and gives us the information that we need on these different programs. As we go through, and if we entered in the medication coverage or the medications that they're taking, it gives us that opportunity to do a side-by-side comparison. It's 3 plans like they have in most systems, like it is in our Medicare center. And it gives us then that opportunity to show, here's your current plan, here are 2 alternatives. Or if we're utilizing our Medicare center and that Pearl function, that microsite that comes to you without cost as part of that system, your folks might well be on that, plugging in their detail and doing their homework ahead of time and have it available. Because if they're popping it up, you're going to see those analysis available to you as the agent. Only you as the agent, because that Pearl points just to you. Personal URL. So you can see 27 plans. They've got a number of choices here in my home zip code. What then is the best program for them? Well, then we got to look at what are your medication usage and how do we make certain that we accommodate the need that comes as part of that. And we got to realize that, hey, it's once again, one size doesn't fit all. You might have someone who is coming into Medicare, doesn't take any medications. A bit of an odd duck there because most of us take a number of medications. But if someone comes in, it might be like my father when Part D was first rolled out. He wasn't on any medications at all. But in order to make certain that he wasn't subject to that 1% of the national average per month penalty, put him on the least expensive premium plan because he didn't intend to use it. Within 6 months, he needed it. But you can't forecast the future in that manner. We got to do things based on the here and now. So all of this systems and all of these different pieces and the opportunities that you have with these programs, why would you do it with us here at Premier? Well, we're going to try to make things as simple as possible for you and as expedient as possible for you, but also make certain that you have within your portfolio the programs that are necessary to address these needs. We saw 27 plans. How many carriers were part of that? A number of them. You need to contract with them all? No. We want the ones that are most valid in our target market, in demand in our target market, and we can always add others down the road, but we have the function to do so electronically because they are based in many cases with the MAPD plans. We're going to do a direct electronic link with the carrier to make it as quick as possible for you. But those discussions will bring up the need for other programs. This is a way for you to create an agent profile and contract with carriers electronically, so we can do so as quickly and as simply and as efficiently as possible. We do also offer discounted errors and omissions coverage for qualified agents. What makes you a qualified agent? You got to contract with us. But this is a program you own. It's not like being added to a blanket E&O policy for one coverage, one company or another, and then wonder how you're going to take care of that need with other insurance programs you offer. This is available to you and for use through whomever you contract with. We're a huge organization here at Premier Marketing, but we don't have every plan in every area. I don't know of anybody that does. This takes care of that need, that requirement that you have to contract and protect yourself through errors and omissions coverage. We do also offer discounted continuing education to keep your license in play through our association with WebCE, discounted those continuing education bundles. You have also an opportunity to add to your own benefit package through a modified guarantee issue disability income program for yourself on which you're paid a commission. This is a program that comes into play for folks that are adding to their own benefit package. Great way to do it. Gives you a way to help should you have some challenges with your own underwriting on yourself and put it in play to protect your ability to earn. As I mentioned at the onset of today's presentation, it was being recorded, is being recorded. Past presentations have been as well. This is the link to the website, our website, and the video library for our webinars, and it is available on our YouTube channel as well. This gives us the opportunity to take this product concept and take it into the community. You're going to have a lot of chat in the first quarter, especially rolling into the second quarter as some people roll through their drug benefit in the initial coverage stage, where they have questions about these plans and how they work. You have presentations that are available to you to do virtually or live about prescription drug coverage. The concept itself on the standalone plans, that gives you another avenue to present in the community and create within the community your image as the subject matter expert. Now, you do that, you need to be prepared with low income subsidy knowledge and presentations as well. But we have all that to make available to you just to set it up and go. Many programs that are out there in our world give us some additional dollars based on production or through other incentive programs. Doesn't work that way with MA or PDP plans because the max comp is set by the government and most of the carriers go to that right away. So we can't earn additional dollars there. Well, we can through dental programs, final expense, med sup programs. Many of them offer those different incentives, and that can make a big difference for you and your wallet, and may help you qualify for carrier trips that are back in vogue now that we are less sequestered into our homes and our offices. Each of those will also help you qualify for premier incentive programs that include support in marketing, particularly with direct mail, and the trip that we have had in the past that has been on hiatus during the pandemic as well. Been reintroduced. It's there for you too. I've mentioned the Medicare Center countless times already through today's presentation, and we see the value of that by looking at the different components that are available through it. You got a single login that'll give you access to multiple quoting engines. They're powered by Connecture, Sunfire, CSG, other tools that are available in there. That gives you the opportunity to create those side-by-side plan comparisons and have them available for your prospects and clients, and do so compliantly because you have multiple means to collect the scope of appointment through this system and store it for that 10-year period if you sell them or not, and to satisfy that new requirement of call recording and scheduling that. The space that requires is just incredible, but it's all available to you through the system and you don't have to worry about it. I've mentioned a number of times as well the Pearl, the personalized URL system. It's that microsite that is available to you for your folks to access to do their homework, or for you to use to enroll them virtually, or have them do an analysis where you link that to, perhaps you have your own website that you utilize. You can link this through that and spread out the tools that you have available to address your marketing situations. It does also come with a contact management system, a CRM, that has the analysis year over year on those medications analysis that you've been doing. This is what enables you to do an annual review very simply and very quickly. It also has within that system switcher tags. What do you mean by that, John? Well, these are the folks that are identified through the system as those most likely to change coverage. So it gives us an opportunity to prioritize our activity and make certain we're doing what we need to do in a timely fashion to keep our book of business afloat. Plain and simple. Really neat tool to help us prioritize our work. It also has the lead center within the system. And this is where you can buy leads or put in your CRM. You can work it as you see fit. We'll go into greater detail on the details on that in just a moment. It also has within the program different resources to help you be better at what we do. There are some sales tracks to follow, different things that you can reference to help you improve your own situation and be more effective. Because it's not just reaching people, it's closing them as well. Obviously, the better we are at that, the better we all are in the long run. It is available too as a mobile application, so you can download it on your smartphone. It'll work just fine. And as importantly, to quote the inimitable J.J. Walker on television, it's free. No cost to you as a contracted agent with our organization or with one of our integrity platform partners. We do want to help put you in front of folks. We do have custom call lists available to you. You can't cold call for a PDP program legally. I've taken 3 on my phone this morning already, and that's after AEP. But we want to follow the rules. It does make it available to you, however, to reach out for different demand products. These names are butted up against the do not call list, so you're staying in compliance, and you can call on dental programs, final expense, whatever the situation happens to be and what you're comfortable with. Demand products are a great piece, though. Working those dental programs, great way to do it. As I mentioned too, having the presentations available on prescription drug programs give us the opportunity to enhance our experience in retail marketing, and we make certain then that we have the detail and the information we need to take and expand upon that and profit from that opportunity year round, not just in that 7-week period in which you may be sitting in a pharmacy area for that time period. That's a year-round opportunity, folks. Just staying in touch with the people that we talked to as we were in those spaces throughout AEP. We also then have the opportunity to reach out to other centers of influence in the community through the use of these drug programs and the assistance programs and the portfolio that we offer through areas that may not be responding to the plea for please evaluate your program. So working through faith-based organizations, that presentation you can do virtually or live on a prescription drug program. It's taken from the Medicare Learning Center or Medicare Learning Center from CMS. So you know that it's compliant and you know you can plug and play with it, that lovely analogy. It also gives us the opportunity to talk to the folks that are delivering upon the services that are covered by the plans that we offer. So working with providers, having them aware of the fact that, hey, I can help your people with my knowledge and background and the resources I bring to talk about their medication coverage. And you can alleviate that pressure from a provider's office. They direct them to you. Wow, there's a year-round program. Because when someone moves from one area to another, what's happening? Well, they're many times picking up a new doc. And that's a way for us to make certain that one of those 20 steps is moving from one service area to another. It gives us that opportunity to do it. It also helps us with the folks that are aging in, because that doctor's office is then aware of the fact that, hey, Medicare is primary for this individual. We need to make certain that we can maximize the coverage and help all involved. There are, of course, carriers that will generate prospects for you as well. This is kind of a quid pro quo situation where you're working with an MA company. You've established a relationship with them. The area that you work, that agent manager knows who you are and what you're bringing to the table. They may have leads for you based off of their marketing opportunities, or some of them will look at old PDP programs that are on the books and give the opportunity to review that for additional coverage. We do also offer internet leads through social media, direct mail support. That lead center I'm going to give you additional detail on in just a moment. A T65 locator that helps you pin down where people are physically, and then a situation or a program that reminds us on how to ask for referrals without coming off like a hardcore used car salesman. That mail program, well, it's based on production, drives down the cost of a mailing. It gives you the opportunity then to do this consistently, because direct mail is kind of like an exercise program. You do it once, you might see or feel something, but most of the time it's just the pain. You don't get the full value out of it. You do it consistently. That's where you see the return. This gives you the opportunity to qualify for that support based on health insurance programs and through final expense if you work both areas. So you can double up on that lead support. We offer this through preferred lead vendors, and they're vetted. We make certain that their systems can handle what we're looking to do, that they're kicking out compliant mail, and that when someone does raise their hand, you get that information as quickly as possible, because, hey, we're in a microwave society. Sometimes it's the first one to the plate that makes the difference. And that kind of rolls into this piece where you have an opportunity to use a lead program that can fill in the spots in your calendar through never distributed direct mail lead programs. You're not paying for the entire lead campaign. You're buying a lead based on a return, and the prices do vary from area to area and from time to time throughout the year. So it's a kind of a supply and demand when it comes to the dollars that are involved, but it's a great way to fill the calendar with someone who's raised their hand as to, I'm interested in what you have to offer in this area. Internet lead program, as I mentioned, that's through Facebook, program for final expense, and through for Medicare. Keep in mind, someone's on the internet, they may be clicking multiple requests, and they may be directed to multiple people, and so they expect a quick answer. One of my friends, she got a lead at 2 o'clock in the morning for this. She called them at 6 a.m. and that person had already been in contact with someone else, moved on. So we want to make certain that we handle these leads as expeditiously as possible. Lead Center. You got a couple of ways you can access these benefits. There's a live transfer function, and that information will be put into your CRM so you can properly follow up as well and detail the conversation that you have. And then, of course, there is the, here's the lead through your system, give them a call type of thing. It's up to you how much you want to spend on it. You can flip them on and off as you want to go, and that's a great way to make certain that we are not only marketing to the full extent, but we are also being prudent with our resources. So this gives us an opportunity to adhere to a budget with good leads coming to you through multiple sources, through the system lead center within Medicare Center. That T65 program, you download it to your smartphone, your laptop, your desktop, whatever, you register for it. They see that you have a contract with us. It's available to you. Once again, in the vernacular of JJ Walker, it's free. It then helps you identify different prospects based on the data that you're putting into it, the parameters that you're setting, and where they are. A great way for folks that stack appointments in an area. Okay, I got this second of 4 that canceled. I don't have time to go back to my office and back. What's in this area that I can work efficiently? This is a great way to figure out people that you can talk to. And remember, you can't door knock for MA or PDP programs, but you can for dental or final expense. And it may also be an opportunity to remind us that, hey, we need to look at centers of influence within that community and visit with them as well. That referral program, that reminds us to walk through and talk about the opportunities we have through the sales process. Well, it extends beyond that. It's a great way for you to go back and engage your book of business. Those folks that are in Medicare Center that you've done a review with, and they may have stayed on the plan that they are, they may have changed, or they may not have made a decision, but this gives you an opportunity to go back in the event that you have the permission to contact, which generally you do, and visit with them about particular programs. Hey, Mr. Smith, I've got a great new dental program that really helps individuals on a cost-efficient basis. Do you have family or friends in the area that would be of need of this program or would be interested in more detail? We're asking for a referral, not for their business. A common response will be, well, yeah, I think I do, but I'm interested. So it's a great way to keep your book engaged and create additional sales opportunities, because studies show the more product we have in the house, the better our retention is. Doesn't have to be with the same company, just has to be the same agent. That's you. We do all this because we want your business. We want to be referable to you. We want to make certain that you have the details necessary in order to market PDP plans. Some folks will go, man, I don't make much commission on that. Why will I going to do that? Well, it's not just that program. It's a door opener. It's a way for us to actively market year-round and create additional discussions as well. Pretty simple to engage. You coming out of AEP with some MA experience, you're probably already certified in this area as well. You can make it part of your personal marketing plan very, very quickly, and you have the ability to move on it then very, very quickly as well. So, as John Wayne said in the movie The Cowboys, bad paraphrase, Slap a piece of bacon between those in that biscuit, saddle up, let's ride, because we're burning daylight. You don't have to wait around to put this in play. It's available to you very, very quickly. So that said, I'm going to check really quickly for questions. We appear to be okay there. I want to thank you for coming on the presentation today and listening to my cold, very white voice. If you've done business with us in the past, as I recognize a number of you that have, I thank you for that business. It's very much appreciated. We thank you for that business and look for the opportunity to deepen our relationship by moving forward in other areas as well. For those of you that are just checking us out, thank you for the opportunity. We look forward to visiting with you about the possibilities that we have in play and make it work for you as well. And for everyone, I want to thank you for spending time with us today, your most valuable resource, your time. It is greatly appreciated, and we recognize the value that that brings to us all. So, until we're able to visit again, watch for some of the follow-up, access some of the information on our website or through your marketer, and until we're able to chat, I wish you good selling. Thanks so very much. We'll talk to you soon.